Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the ICT Educator webinar series. I'm Steve Wright, the State Director for the ICT team of the Workforce and Economic Development Department of the California Community College System. Try saying that at a cocktail party. These webinars are brought to you by our entire sector team, and they're produced by Nicole Sherman. Our guest speakers all volunteer their time for the sake of student success in our system. And currently our ICT sector webinar library, which is on our website, includes over 51 relevant and helpful webinars for our faculty and students. You know, we get a lot of views, but 40% of the views are afterwards. So this is very good for sharing. Everything's recorded, transcripted, the slides are there, the links. It makes it very easy for you to share that. In the next 2 weeks, we're going to have Robert Half is going to speak to us about hiring trends for creative and IT jobs. And a week later, we're going to get an update on cloud curriculum pathways, curriculum projects in Southern California, mostly LA, with Charlotte Augenstein, one of our regional directors in the LA area. Today is going to be terrific. You know, over 60 community colleges have Cisco academies, or our longest strategic partner in technology, and they initiated the academy approach that everybody else follows. And they're nothing but the best quality from these Cisco people. And I've been working with them off and on since 1995 when I helped get a Cisco Academy started at Oxnard Community College here in Ventura County. And today we're going to hear about the Talent Bridge program, which is the employment program for the Cisco Networking Academy. And with that, I believe I'm going to turn it over to Jessel. Are you going to take the lead?
Yes, I am. Hi, everyone. Thanks for having me on. And Trent, my coworker, we're happy to be here and let you all know about the Cisco Networking Academy Talent Bridge program and what resources we have to offer. So our Talent Bridge program, what it is our employment program for Cisco Networking Academy. And over the years, we've definitely evolved and, tried to create a more robust program, and has a lot of different components. But our ultimate goal is we want to connect our talent with the opportunities around the world with our Cisco ecosystem that we've got. And, before we even dive into what we've got in the program, wanted to just highlight a couple of things that we're obviously going to be proud of, that with those of our students who participate in Talent Bridge programs and activities, they're more likely to find a new job and have a faster time to get to that employment part of their career. And then the non-participating students within Cisco Networking Academy. And so, and with that, they're also 3 times more likely to have a job within Cisco or with one of our channel partners or distributors that are around the world. So that's also something exciting that we like to share with everyone, because we're really making headway. And over the past 5 years, we've been able to connect 30,000 students with actually finding a job. But we've impacted over 70,000. And these numbers are actually, a year old. We're still working on getting we're doing our newest survey soon. And so we'll have, I'm sure we've even impacted a lot larger numbers. So that's just to kind of go to show you the reach we've got. And it's a global program. I know you guys are all out in California, but just like to highlight that, this stuff is not just local to the US. We do have a global focus. And within the Networking Academies program, we've got a variety of these pieces that I've been, hinting at and talking about. And we're going to dive into each of these programs. But the simplest way for us to, communicate out to all of you, our instructors, is if you go to netacad.com/careers/TB, TB is for Talent Bridge, you will be able to find the links to each of these sub-programs and the links to connect with us on the matching engine or get in the career prep workshop, whatever these pieces are that are important to you in learning more. And another thing is you can simply just share that link with your students, and your students will have access to what this is. And for those of you who are not within NetAcad, you can still access the information, and some of our information is not exclusive to Netacad. Some of it is, open to anyone who goes to the page and looks at the information. So, there's a couple ways to interact with us, and we just want to call that out if you want to bookmark it to look back later on. So into the different parts of our program that we've got the matching engine, which is a really cool tool that we've created, and it essentially takes a student and matches them with opportunities within our ecosystem. And my colleague Trent is going to go over this in a lot of detail, so I'm just going to kind of skim the line here. But at a quick overview, we've got over 40,000 Netacad students on there and over 650 channel partners that post jobs on here. And so that's a lot of people, interacting with one another, and we're really pleased with so far with how the results have been. The next piece is our alumni network on LinkedIn. We definitely want to use the tool that's available. Millions of users are on LinkedIn. It is the professional network to go to around the world. And so we also have a strong focus for our Networking Academy students to get on there, and our instructors. We want you on there as well. And we also encourage our employers who want to connect with our Netacads, get on LinkedIn, because sometimes that's the best way for them to contact folks. Or even if they're, a match on the matching engine, they might go to LinkedIn and see how they're connected to them, look at their profile. So that all of that kind of works well together. And for you instructors, you will have a lot of information available at your fingertips. We also have a variety of career advice on netacad.com, and it's all been curated specifically for that audience. We've also got the Dream Team, which is a project-based opportunity for select students. And we also have our career prep workshop, which is a self-enroll course that, our Netacads can use to help prepare themselves. And so now we're going to jump into each of these different pieces and talk a lot more about them to give you some more background. And before I continue, one of the things Steve had actually mentioned earlier is it's important to clarify that that these resources are not just for those who've been out there, have a lot of experience. It's for entry level. It's for those just beginning their career journey. Like when you're just starting off, we're here for you. We want you guys to engage. We want your students to engage in our resources. And as we're going through these pieces, we'll explain why. But this is for all parts of your journey as you're going to get employed. And so Trent, I'm going to pass it to you.
Great, thank you, Jessel. So as mentioned, the matching engine is that free platform for both our partner employers and for the student population that automates the connection between those two parties. And it matches candidates based on skills and requirements. So it's a significant value to both sides, because candidates will only see the jobs they qualify for, and employers will only see the candidates that meet their requirements. It is a free platform. The only requirement is from the candidate side is to be 18 years or older, and that's just due to US legal requirements. And it is a global platform, and it's translated into 16 different languages. So it may not be as pertinent to this audience, but it is good to know that it's global. Next slide. And so very easy to access. I'll show you what it looks like from a student candidate perspective, but using your Netacad login credentials, you can access it through the link provided here, or you can browse through it through the netacad.com login. Upon going through the initial profile setup, the candidate will immediately see job opportunities in which they match to, and they can review those opportunities and choose one or more or none that they wish to apply to. On a weekly basis, they will receive an email that indicates new jobs that they match to. So they'll kind of be alerted on a weekly basis, but they're welcome to log back in anytime they want and review new matches. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. So if you'll notice here, I've used my Netacad login credentials to log into the matching engine, and I'll just kind of give you a quick tour, starting with the user profile. So I already have a profile set up, and I will preface this by saying this is a very embellished profile. Um, to start with, I did not serve in the military, but you'll notice here my profile indicates I was a captain in the Army with 10 years of experience, and I have a top secret clearance. Again, I've kind of embellished it so that I match to more jobs for demo purposes, but we have plenty of employers that have lots of job opportunities of varying degrees of skills and requirements, including very early in career entry-level positions. On the next tab is where I would enter general contact information. I could share my LinkedIn profile URL, and I also indicate which languages in which I'm proficient. Again, because this is a global platform and I do demos globally, I've indicated that I'm multilingual. On the education section is where we capture the highest level of education achieved, GPA information, whether they're a full-time student, the date of graduation, and then the courses. So this course section is the only area that's not self-select. This is actually hooked into the NetAcad database, so these are actual courses that I've registered for. On the next tab is where I choose which certifications, select which certifications I've achieved. So I can choose from the drop-down list. I can add my certification number, and then I can add that to my profile. And again, you'll notice I've listed lots of certifications. On the opportunity tab is where a candidate indicates which types of opportunities that they are interested in. So this can be full-time, part-time internships, apprenticeships, etc. Jessel will also talk about dream team opportunities that may present themselves in the future. But this is where they would indicate what types of opportunities they're interested in and whether they're interested in technical and or non-technical positions. So we did learn upon initial launch that some students, while they're taking Cisco NetAcad courses, are interested in non-technical careers, non-technical jobs, but they do want to work in the technology industry. So this is a way for them to still use the platform, but explore some of the job postings from our employers that may be non-technical, operational, administrative type roles, along with even sales. We also capture the date that an individual is available for opportunities, if they're open to remote work, and the location or locations that they're willing to work. So today, for today's demo purposes, I've indicated that I'm willing to work any place in California, but I could have been more specific and listed San Francisco and Seattle. You know, it can be cities, it could be states, or entire countries. I could have said I'm willing to work any place in the US, and then I would have been matched to even more jobs. And on the documents tab, this is where I upload my documents so they're in a repository that will be ready for when I choose to apply to a job. So they're not visible to the employer until I choose to apply, and I attach those documents to the application. So in my repository, I have a copy of my resume, and I also have another document here. It could be a cover letter, a letter of recommendation, a copy of my certification, etc. So the nice thing about the platform is immediately upon setting up my profile and saving my profile, I will see the opportunities that I match to. So I currently match, you'll notice up here, to 1,200 different opportunities in California. So we have lots of available opportunities through multiple different employers. So you'll notice the big names like Cisco and Meraki, but you'll notice some smaller organizations that, you know, maybe Hungerford Technologies, Ford Audio Video Systems. These are all Cisco resellers, but a lot of them do have other pieces of their business as well. Now I'm going to click on one just because I know them. I demo this job from the employer side. Innate Networks, they happen to be looking for somebody to sit any place in the United States. They're looking for an associate network engineer position. So in this case, I can click on it. I can read more about the job description. If I'm still interested, I can click the view button and I can see the full length job description. They require a CCNA certification. So I actually have one of those, and this looks like a cool job. So I'm going to go ahead and apply to it. And by clicking the apply button, the nice thing is because Innate's application process is housed completely within the matching engine, all my information is ready to go. All my profile, education, certifications, they're ready to go. Here's my resume already attached to the application. I can go ahead and choose to attach that cover letter as well. And then I hit next. I answer 2 quick questions around my years of experience and if I'm eligible to work in the country. I then hit next and submit my application. So from a candidate experience perspective, setting up my profile will probably take me no more than 5 or 10 minutes. From there, I'll immediately see jobs in which I match to. And the thing that's probably going to take me the longest amount of time, depending upon how many jobs I match to, is perusing that list and seeing which ones are of interest to me. Once I do choose to apply, the employers, where I say their application process is housed within the matching engine, very simple process. I preface that because we do have some of our larger, high volume hiring partners integrated in a slightly different way. So CDW is a national partner. They probably have 300 active opportunities posted at any given time. So we've actually done some API integration with their applicant tracking system. So if I do choose to apply to CDW, for example, I am going to be redirected to their careers page, to their front door. So I'm still being tagged behind the scenes as coming from the matching engine, and CDW does pay particular attention to candidates that we source for them because they know the relationship that we have with the Network Academy students, and they've been very successful in hiring large groups of NetAcad students and putting them through their associate program. But back to that candidate experience, they will be redirected to go through the CDW process, which is a little bit more I won't say intensive, but you have to kind of set up your profile and have a login. And then if I apply to another CDW job, it is a little bit more automated, for when I go through that process again.
I'd like to
Yeah,
ask you a question, Trent.
yeah, please.
So you're saying that some of the companies where you have to leave the platform to
Yep.
to do their unique application, which a lot of companies are like that, but you're saying it passes on the fact that it came from your platform, which I assume implies that the Cisco certifications have been verified.
So great question. We are not hooked into the Cisco certification database. We are hooked into the Cisco NetAcad database. So we are verifying their courses, but it's still up to the employer to validate certifications. And we educate our employers on that fact. Just like any resume, people could list things that aren't necessarily true. So it is up to our employers to do the appropriate screening, but we have not found significant widespread fraudulent information being represented. So.
Well, I mean, it's good to pass on that. And now, what about the status with digital badges? Do you pass on digital badge type information or?
Great question. That's currently not integrated into the platform. We are looking at that as a potential improvement in the future, and we do encourage NetAcad students or people in general that earn badges to represent those badges on their resume, because we do educate our employers. Our employers are educated around that and put value on coursework, put value on badges, and put value on certifications.
Yeah, I think one of the big values here is the relationship that you have with your channel partners and the extent to which there's a verification of the student. It's a filter, and
Yep.
I think companies probably appreciate that.
Yeah, on the just like on the candidate side, they're seeing jobs they match to. The employers really like it because they're seeing candidates that meet their requirements. They're not having to sift through hundreds of candidates to find the ones that have the CCNA, even though they listed it on their job site that said CCNA required. Lots of people that don't have a CCNA still will apply to that job, and that creates a lot of turn for the recruiter. And in this instance, we're only delivering candidates that meet that CCNA requirement or whatever requirement was defined in the job posting. So yeah, lots of value on both sides. So that's the candidate experience when they set their profile, peruse the job, submit applications. They can add jobs to their short list by pinning jobs, and then they have a short list filter. So there's a little bit of functionality there. They also have the ability to review the jobs that they've applied for, and they have the ability to receive messages from the employer. So employers might come across a profile that maybe I didn't apply to, and they would say, I see that you matched to one of my jobs, you haven't yet applied, but I think you'd be a good fit. Would you consider looking at our job posting? Or just they want to schedule an interview, et cetera. So employers have the option of doing this, or they have some of that contact information that I provided in my profile. They may reach out to me via phone or email information that I've provided. I also mentioned that it was translated into 16 different languages, or maybe I didn't, but it is translated into 16 different languages for anybody that, English may be their second language, and maybe they want to explore opportunities back in their home country or some other place, or maybe they're proficient in other languages. We also use some of this space on the side, the banner space, to advertise our some of our resources. And you'll notice CDW here, it's kind of blocked by our chat bot, which I'll touch on here in a minute. But we do have CDW promoting their jobs a little bit when they're hiring for one of those classes that I mentioned, where they hire 10 to 15 NetAcad students and put them through their associate program. And then the last component that I'll touch on is this chat bot down here. Kiko is our chat bot, and they're here to help the candidate navigate either information regarding job matches or career advice. So I may want to click on, I'm seeking additional career advice, and they the bot recommends some different things that I might be interested in. So if I'm interested in learning more about the Dream Team, I can just type Dream Team, and it will supply additional information regarding the Dream Team events and how I might register for and learn more about the Dream Team. So another cool little feature that we have developed here that we'll continue to enhance and expand upon to be of more value to the candidate experience. So before I turn back to the slide deck, are there any questions I can answer regarding the candidate functionality of the matching engine?
Oh, I'm sorry, one more. I love this kind of stuff.
Fire away.
Whenever you do something that's like a hiring board like this, it's kind of it's kind of a chicken and egg thing. Do you have enough employers involved or enough students involved? And have you guys sensed that you reached that critical level now where the balance is and the flow is right? Because in the beginning, it's one or the other, right?
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And it's been something that, we've paid particular attention to. I will say we've been very fortunate in the US because I think me personally, I was involved in helping to onboard partners. I had some existing relationships. So I think we were really able to keep it in balance pretty well throughout the duration from startup in the US. We do have a reporting engine where we're able to identify those imbalances. We've seen them in Nigeria. Lots of students participating, very little employer participation. And unfortunately, I think that's just due to the economy of that particular region. We saw it in India, lots of student participation, not a lot of employees. They have the companies. It's just been really hard for us to penetrate and form those relationships for one reason or another. We're continuing to chip away at that. And we've had imbalances in the other direction as well, where we were able to get some partners onboarded, but it was a little bit slower on the NetAcad side. But like I said, US based, we've been really fortunate that it's been a pretty good balance throughout the life cycle. Yep. But we do pay attention to it, and we do try and make adjustments, marketing campaigns, promotions, et cetera, to help keep it in balance.
That's great.
So again, we kind of walk through the steps here. This kind of goes to your balance question. So we currently have 40 employers in California, 808 open opportunities. You'll notice that some of those, like I had more, even though I said I was interested in working in California, I think I matched to 1,200 maybe. It's because a lot of those were, they weren't just California locations. They were, that one that I clicked on first was US. So it's at any place in the US. So those obviously fall in the California bucket as well, but these are just California centric jobs. And then in addition to that, we have the US general jobs as well to go on top. So 263 employers in the US, highest adoption rate globally is US based. We have about 650 employers total globally, but 263 of them are in the US and close to 3,500 open opportunities in the United States globally. I think we have about 5,500. And then you'll see below, I showed you some of these, but some of the different types of opportunities, from support technicians to NOC engineers to service field technicians, lots of different opportunities. And those are just kind of more the technically focused early in career ones. There's obviously some mid and senior level roles floating around out there as well. Next slide. So, over the years, this has been the progression. We launched it in 2017. And since then, we've continued to add features through monthly releases. We capture feedback. We put them in the change request log. We prioritize them and put them in the roadmap. And we continue to do that. In 2018, we actually did expand it outside of just the NetAcad population, and we started to invite US military veterans that are transitioning into the civilian workforce so they could participate. Try and give back to our veteran community. We continue to market. It's included in all the NetAcad curriculum. In August of this year, we added the non-technical matching component. And then to date, as I mentioned, 40,000 NetAcad candidates, 650 employers. I think we're up to almost 675 and about 5,500 open opportunities. So continue to expand and grow the platform. Next slide. And with that, I'll turn it back over to Jessel, who will talk to you a little bit more about the Alumni Network.
Thank you, Trent. Before I take over, are there any other questions about the matching engine specifically? And of course, we'll have more time at the end. So if you have other questions, feel free to drop them in the chat and we'll answer any questions you guys have at the end. So one of the things that we mentioned is we're trying to keep in connection with our alumni network. And we're doing that through LinkedIn. Might as well use the professional network, chosen around the world. And one of the ways that we encourage everyone to engage with us is, as an instructor, you should follow us. We have employers following us, and students can follow, but they should definitely add Cisco Networking Academy to their education section on their profile, because we know our employers are going and looking through LinkedIn, and they might go ahead and look on our LinkedIn page and look at the alumni section and look for folks in their region who, might qualify for positions that they've got, or maybe there's some opportunity that's coming up and, they're looking for NetAcads in Wyoming that can participate. So it's kind of one of those things. If we can encourage our NetAcads to include Cisco Networking Academy on their education profile, the work that Trent and I have been doing, to educate our employers that, hey, you really want to bring NetAcads on board and be a part of your workplace. It's just, one more way to encourage that messaging and make that connection happen between NetAcads and our employers out there. And it's also good for NetAcads to be able to sync with one another as well. They can find their connections, they build their network globally. They also, are informed because we're posting information not only about our career resources, but about the latest trends. What are the top jobs of 2021 for those in the technical field? We try to find that content, share it with our LinkedIn network. And so this is another way to engage with NetAcad. And, for instructors, you have a lot on your plate. So if you send them to LinkedIn, be like, hey, connect here, you're going to get these resources right in your feed, and you'll be able to, they can take care of it on their own then. For students and for instructors, some of this information might also be important to you as well, and you might find it useful. From a, oops, I talk a lot with my hands, and sometimes that means my Bluetooth thing comes out. But so we have about 1,500 alumni in California. I'm quite certain we have even more, but one of the things that, we're trying to do by coming here, speaking with our instructors, is encouraging our instructors to get our students to add NetAcad to their profile. So we know we have a lot more alumni in California, but we're still building it. It's an active growth process, and, and this will help them in the future too, because they can connect with the employers later on. We have almost 154,000 followers on LinkedIn as well. So it's a really broad network. And as you can see, it's not just for students. It's for a variety of folks connecting with our academy. And some of the top employers in California, which we thought you guys would be interested in knowing, is Cisco, of course, Apple, Google, Microsoft, and Kaiser Permanente. So, it's mainly tech, but hey, there's even a hospital network in there too. So definitely have a broad scope of where NetAcads go outside once they've left the academy. And actually, real quick, I'm going to also add, I'm going to quickly share with you the LinkedIn site. So in case you guys are wanting to see what it looks like. So when you're on LinkedIn, for those of you who want to find it, you just have to type in here, Cisco Networking Academy, and it'll, you'll see that this is the company page for it. Company page, school page, they're kind of they're interchangeable. So, this is where you go. And for instructors, if you're looking for alumni in your region, you can kind of type it in here. Say you're wanting to know someone's in, San Francisco, type that in and see, which alumni are around there. Where are they working? And who might you have in connection with them? And you can even, there's some people you can connect with, some people you can't, depending on their profile preferences. So just a really quick glimpse into, how this could be used even for you as an instructor, if you're looking to even connect one of your students with a potential opportunity, or, you're just looking for alumni to join a project that you're working on, volunteer things, anything, it's another tool for you all to use. And so I'm going to stop sharing that one and take you back to our deck. And this is, kind of more or less the same. So when you're on LinkedIn, I was already following it, so you don't see the follow button as prominently, but you can follow it right there and get connected. The next piece we wanted to share with you all is we do have a lot of career resources. So for whether it's regarding employment opportunities or straight up career advice, or our library of webinars that our students can use, or you can use on demand, they're all available on netacad.com/careers. So it'll populate there, and all of these resources are designed and purposefully chosen to help prepare our students to get into the digital workforce and help them gain those professional skills. And so as instructors, you're focused on the technical skills building. So the resources that we have on the career section focus on the soft skills, and the essential skills our employers are saying that they really want our students to have, or their candidates to have. Some of that skill gap, trying to help fill that and inform our students that, hey, focus on this. This is really what employers are looking for. And if you can build, your project management skills or your customer service skills, you can have even more opportunities. So, just some more stuff to help them. And, this is just kind of breaking it down. Like, these are the 3 focus areas of our career content on netacad.com. And our library of webinars is going to have both technical and career focused webinars. And these are all pre-recorded and, So you can consume them at your own pace. And, because of the pandemic, it's kind of nice for a lot of folks who have this unexpected downtime on the weekends. They can go in there and, spend an hour, learn something. If they're maybe intrigued by cybersecurity, they can go pop open up a webinar about it and see if, hey, is this something for me? And then they can go to our career advice section and say, all right, well, I want some advice on how I can gain experience. What can I do? And we've got some content there for them. So it's just, one of those things, like, we're trying to make things work hand in hand, because as they develop these skills, they're even more ready to be on our matching engine, which you can also access through our employment opportunities section. And it's not advancing. I am trying. There we go. So one of the big things that we found our students to really enjoy is the Dream Team. It's an experience building opportunity. So it's a one-time project-based opportunity. So our students will be invited to join us for an event, and they get to work alongside professionals laying a network for a large-scale event. So it could be, for something like Cisco Live, which is pictured here, or it could be set for a music festival, like the Global Citizen Festivals that happen, or it could be for a gaming competition. So we've had a variety of events that we used to do. Because of COVID, the opportunity is temporarily unavailable, but these are things that are great for our students to participate in, but also our instructors as well. So instructors, you participate in two ways. You nominate students when you're contacted that, hey, we're looking for folks in your region. Can you nominate some students to us? And so you nominate your students. And then we also have instructors who join us on these projects as well. So it's kind of a fun opportunity, a really unique way to grow your professional network. And they're really, a lot of the folks that have participated in Dream Teams definitely always say it's been life-changing for them. The majority of them will see either a promotion or they will gain a job after having participated in the Dream Team. One other thing that we have is the career preparation workshop. So it's a self-enrolled course that we have available for you. And what it does is it takes a participant through the whole process of, getting ready to get out there and apply for jobs. And so, making sure that they walk through, get their resume ready, prepare for interviews. What are those things that they need to be mindful of when they're preparing for an interview? How do they set up informational interviews to learn more about specific companies that they're around, or how to make sure that their social media presence is proper, and how to get their LinkedIn profile up to standards. And so a lot of that kind of stuff, we put it all together to help them walk through. And a lot that does leverage the career advice you saw me share with you just a little earlier. So we try to make a lot of our stuff work hand in hand with one another. And one of the cool things about this is, as an instructor, you can also launch a course and say you're teaching it, and and if you've got questions about that, Sarah Shreve, who's on the call, can help you with that part of it too. So either you can direct your students to take this course on their own, or you can launch this course and instruct it from your perspective. So these are all things that are available for you to utilize, and we've found that a lot of our students are definitely finding positive aspects of it. So it really helps them with their goal to transition into a professional career. And this is, just a quick description of what we've gotten there and how to get involved with this course. Earlier, Steve, you mentioned about digital badging. So we wanted to just, we'd included this in because it is something that helps showcase what your skills are and your knowledge to employers. So for our students, if they earn these digital badges, they should include them on their social media profiles where relevant, and also in their resumes. It just helps, kind of have you stand out from the crowd of applicants, and it's not a certification, so obviously it doesn't hold as much weight, but it could still help in just making you more noticeable to employers. And a lot of you are interacting directly with our students, of course, right? so we know that you have seen or heard inspiring stories that other students or other instructors could benefit from learning from that experience. So if you've got something that's compelling, please share it with us about our NetAcad students or instructors, and contact Sarah Shreve. Her email address is right here, and we'll work on figuring out how to share this with the community. But it'd be great to get to know some more of these stories. We know we've got some incredible journeys out there that are definitely very inspirational. And one of the things I kind of skipped over, but as we're talking about these stories, on the netacad.com site, we have an area where we're actually focusing on these inspiring stories. It's called This is Networking Academy. And in there, we have our students and instructors share their experiences in their voice and offer advice on how to become that network engineer, and how do you get over these hurdles, and walking away from being on the path to becoming a nurse to just, changing complete direction and going into network engineering, how you still get to feel fulfilled and that you can help others. And so, that's just one example of the many journeys that we're covering over there. And throughout the year, we'll be adding more. So that's kind of how we choose to use this in one of the ways. It's just one example, but on netacad.com, we definitely have a variety of resources for you to leverage. So, Trent and I said quite a lot today. The two biggest things that we ask our instructors as you guys walk away today is if you can please encourage your students to complete their matching engine profile, review their matches, apply to opportunities. And if for you instructors, if you guys are also interested in pursuing other options, complete a profile, get on there and see what opportunities are there for you. We know a lot of folks also do, instructing and have another full-time job. And I'm not sure how you guys do it, but there are some of you who have the bandwidth and the capability of doing something like that. So, you can also use the matching engine as well using your NetAcad login. We're having a lot more employers putting on jobs. It's not just entry level, it's also advanced for advanced professionals as well. And then the second ask is if you can please encourage your students to add Networking Academy to their education profile on LinkedIn. It really can work wonders in helping them connect with their peers and employers. So if you've got any additional inquiries as you walk away from here, you can contact us at Trent and I both. You can contact us at talentbridge@cisco.com, and we will see what we can do to help you with your question. But with that, I am going to turn it back over to Steve and Sarah. Thank you.
Sarah, did you have anything you wanted to add?
No, I got a couple of private questions in the chat. So for students who are not currently associated with Networking Academy and they want to access the TalentBridge matching engine, what they can do is go to netacad.com and click on courses. It'll show all of our course listings, and there's a filter at the top where you can filter for instructor-led or self-paced courses. Take the instructor-led filter off, so you're just looking for those self-paced courses. And students can click on the Learn More, and then there's a yellow button that shows up on the next page that says Sign Up Today. And that's how students can create a netacad.com account to where they can then access the TalentBridge matching engine. So, and then of course, if anybody has any questions, feel free to reach out to me directly. My email is all through the chat, and I'd be more than happy to help anybody out.
Well, I got so much out of today's presentation. A couple things really stand in my mind. That is, if I go on and start an online course and pretend I'm a military colonel and I've got all kinds of security clearances, then I can find out who all the companies are that are hiring and what they're looking for. And for me, in the labor market and intelligence side of the business, I'm always curious about that. So you showed us how to find a list of incredible companies and job opportunities that we don't normally get to see, because a lot of the systems we use, all that stuff is filtered and synthesized and stuff like that. So We'll just keep that a secret. Okay. The other thing I really love is the fact I hadn't realized that NetAcad has an alumni, has a page and alumni. And you know what we stress to all of our community colleges, that you also, as a community college, have a page with alumni. So when you're looking for advisors or mentors or people for your students to talk to, these alumni are fantastic. Now that I realize that NetAcad has them, so anybody who's taking a Cisco Academy type program and working toward a certificate can actually find people to contact on LinkedIn. And I'm not sure if you guys do any hand holding with that, but I mean, there's no reason why they can't just send them a note and say, well, I'd love to talk to you about how you do that in that company. And if your Cisco certification helped you. A long time ago, a book was written called What Color's Your Parachute? And to this day, I think it's one of the best books on how to find a job, you know, and find your place in the world. And a big part of it's interviewing people, not to get a job, but to find out how they did it. And that tool, that combination of the Cisco Academy NetAcad alumni and the ability to reach out through LinkedIn is powerful, very powerful. If people will use it. Now, I will ask you one question.
Sorry, Steve, I was just going to add that we have information about informational interviews, which you're talking about. So if students want to learn how they can conduct that informational interview, we do offer that information. So it's not direct hand-holding, but it's indirect hand-holding.
Well, one of the things I found is we've tried a lot of things to get our students engaged with employers, and they're a little chicken sometimes, you know, they're just a little scared, and so they do need a little hand-holding. But to another point that I saw in the chat, I think it was DJ, was asking or emphasizing the bachelor's degree requirement that pops up in so many of these ads. You know, when we brought you guys on here to talk, I realized that, you know, we need to understand how the talent bridge works with what kinds of students. And I was pleasantly surprised to see that it has a lot of access for entry level. And that's really good, and a lot of information for entry level. But I don't think there's any doubt about it. There's a lot of people in need who have experience, already have a bachelor's, maybe went back to get some technology training, coming out of the military, and this is an excellent tool for them. And so I think the key to our instructors is to figure out how to identify different solutions for different students, and particularly anybody coming out of the military. This is great. I like the fact that you work so diligently on that connection. All right, I'm sorry, I tend to not stop talking. Other questions? Do you see anything in the chat we haven't answered?
I do not. I see a lot of names and faces that I recognize, so thank you all for being here.
Yes, so I think this is like I said, a fantastic presentation. If there are any more questions, we'll take them, but this is recorded, will be edited down in case I, you know, want to take out anything I said. And then we'll have the transcript and your links. Anything else, Sarah or Jessel or Trent, that you want to add, we'll put it in our archives associated with this particular webinar. And then it's out there. We'll probably make note of it in our newsletter, and send it out again to our 5,000 constant contact list. And that's how these webinars kind of get out there. And all of our regional directors, some of whom are on this call, all know about this. And when they find colleges that are interested in something, they say, oh, we have this webinar on Cisco Talent Bridge. It explains everything. Here it is. And so this is turning out to be a good resource for our system. Okay, final questions?
I don't see anything. If anybody is not associated with the Networking Academy program and would like to sign up, I've just put the link into the chat. So it's a quick 5-step form that you fill out. If you're interested in becoming a Networking Academy, go ahead and fill that out, and it will go to your appropriate CSR manager based on region. So for California, it will come to me. And I look forward to working with everybody.
Well, on behalf of the community college system, Jessel, Trent, Sarah, thank you very much. It's been a wonderful day, and talk to you soon.
Thank you very much, Steve and Nicole.